الذين ظلموا معذرة ولهم يستعتبون. ولقد ضربنا للناس في هذا القرآن من كل مثل ولئن جئتهم بآيات ليقولن الذين كفروا إن أنتم إلا مبطلون. كذلك يطبع الله على قلوب الذين لا يعلمون. فاصبر إن وعد الله حق ولا يستخفنك الذين لا يوقنون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. تلك آيات الكتاب الحكيم هدى ورحمة للمحسنين الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم يوقنون. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. ومن الناس من يشتري لهو الحديث ليضل عن سبيل الله بغير علم ويتخذها هزوا. أولئك لهم عذاب مهين. وإذا تتلى عليه آياتنا وليا مستكبرا كأن لم يسمعها كأن في أذنه وكرا فبشره بعذاب أليم. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات النعيم خالدين فيها وعد الله حقا وهو العزيز الحكيم. خلق السماوات بغير عمد ترونها وألقى في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بكم وبث فيها من كل دابة وأنزلنا من السماء ماء فأنبتنا فيها من كل زوج كريم. هذا خلق الله فأروني ماذا خلق الذين من دونه بل الظالمون في ضلال مبين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وصينا الإنسان بوالديه حملته أمه وهنا على وهن وفصاله في عامين أن اشكر لي ولوالديك إلي المصير. وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا واتبع سبيل من أناب إلي ثم إلي مرجعكم فأنبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. يا بني إنها إن تك مثقال حبة من خردل. Surah Luqman. Yes, I just said it. And now it is 16. يا بني إنها إن تك مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأتي بها الله إن الله لطيف خبير. يا بني أقم الصلاة وأمر بالمعروف وانهى عن المنكر واصبر على ما أصابك إن ذلك من عزم الأمور. ولا تصعر خدك للناس ولا تمشي في الأرض مرحا إن الله لا يحب كل مختال فخور. واقصد في مشيك واغضض من صوتك إن أنكر الأصوات لصوت الحمير. ألم تروا أن الله سخر لكم ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وأسبغ عليكم نعمه ظاهرة وباطنة ومن الناس من يجادل في الله بغير علم ولا هدى ولا كتاب منير. وإذا قيل لهم اتبعوا ما أنزل الله قالوا بل نتبع ما وجدنا عليه آباءنا أولو كان الشيطان يدعوهم إلى عذاب السعير. ومن يسلم وجهه إلى الله وهو محسن فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى وإلى الله عاقبة الأمور. ومن كفر فلا يحزنك كفره إلينا مرجعهم فننبئهم بما عملوا إن الله عليم بذات الصدور. نمتعهم قليلا ثم نضطرهم إلى عذاب غليظ. ولئن سألتهم من خلق السماوات والأرض ليقولن الله قل الحمد لله بل أكثرهم لا يعلمون. لله ما في السماوات والأرض إن الله هو الغني الحميد. ولو أن ما في الأرض من شجرة أقلام والبحر يمده من بعده سبعة أبحر ما نفذت كلمات الله إن الله عزيز حكيم. ما خلقكم ولا بعثكم إلا كنفس واحدة إن الله سميع بصير.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم تر أن الله يولج الليل في النهار ويولج النهار في الليل وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري إلى أجل مسمى وأن الله بما تعملون خبير. ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأن ما يدعون من دونه باطل وإن الله هو العلي الكبير. ألم تر أن الفلك تجري في البحر بنعمة الله ليريكم من آياته إن في ذلك لآيات لكل صبار شكور. وإذا غشيهم موج كالظلال دعوا الله مخلصين له الدين فلما نجاهم إلى البر فمنهم مقتصد وما يجحد بآياتنا إلا كل ختار كفور. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم وأخشوا يوما لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز عن والده شيئا إن وعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. إن الله عنده علم الساعة وينزل الغيث ويعلم ما في الأرحام وما تدري نفس ماذا تكسب غدا وما تدري نفس بأي أرض تموت إن الله عليم خبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم تنزيل الكتاب لا ريب فيه من رب العالمين. أم يقولون افتراه بل هو الحق من ربك لتنذر قوما ما آتاهم من نذير من قبلك لعلهم يهتدون. الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وما بينهما في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش ما لكم من دونه من ولي ولا شفيع أفلا تتذكرون. يدبر الأمر من السماء إلى الأرض ثم يعرج إليه في يوم كان مقداره 1000 سنة مما تعدون. ذلك عالم الغيب والشهادة العزيز الرحيم الذي أحسن كل شيء خلقه وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين ثم جعل نسله من سلالة من ماء مهين ثم سواه ونفخ فيه من روحه وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون. فقالوا أإذا زللنا في الأرض أإنا لفي خلق جديد بل هم بلقاء ربهم كافرون. قل يتوفاكم ملك ملك الموت الذي كل بكم ثم إلى ربكم ترجعون. الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. صلوات.
Among the surahs that we were reading today is this surah, which is a surah of Ramadhan. And of course, all of the surahs have central messages. This surah is named after wisdom. Is defined by meaning. Wisdom is different than ilm. Ilm is one thing, and wisdom is another thing. So a person can have knowledge, but he can also not be wise. So a person can have information, and at the same time not be possessing of wisdom. He just has pure information. Meaning he doesn't know how to put this information into play in the real world. So the thing about Luqman, which made him special, is that he could put the information that Allah had given him, but he was able to put it into the proper place. So for instance, we look at, let's say, Shaitan, he has information. He's been alive for how many thousands of years, and he has a lot of information. But you see that his information has not translated into wisdom. Like in the Surah Jinn, they're talking, when the other jinns are talking to him, the jinns which are mu'mineen, they say Safihuna, meaning the foolish one from us says such and such about Allah. So meaning that the fact that he is not able to put his information into practice, and he's not able to say, well, because of this information, I'm guided. His information leads him to misguidance rather than guidance. Whereas a person who is wise, maybe with just a small amount of information, he's able to extract a lot of it because his heart is in the right place and his heart is leading him towards the right places. He puts his knowledge and he puts his information into the right place. And when Allah quotes someone, sometimes in the Quran, Allah paraphrases them, meaning he doesn't say exactly what they said. They'll say good things, or he'll advise us him or something. But sometimes when Allah wants us to pay attention to exact words, he'll actually quote the person that he feels that this person, by chance or by knowledge, is saying how Allah would like us to hear it. And Allah, when Luqman gives his son some different bits of advice, Allah is very much pleased with this, and so now he quotes it as something hakeem and something wise and something beneficial to us. And then also Allah makes sure that he doesn't just quote Luqman and doesn't say who he is. He doesn't just say, and what call Luqman, he can say that. But first he lets us know that this is going to be important, but he says that وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ حِكْمَةً أَنِ اشْكُرَ اللَّهِ. That he gave Luqman wisdom, and because of the wisdom that he gave him, he was thankful to Allah. And then when he starts putting Allah's saying, the first thing that Luqman does is that Luqman is not one of the mushrikeen. So Luqman he doesn't worship anything else, but he doesn't put any power or any faith in anything except other than Allah. So there's two types of shirk. One of them is that you just go over and you get yourself an idol, you make it out of dates, put it in the corner, and you start worshiping that idol right then and there. Obvious shirk. The other part is that you have some sort of ideology, you have some sort of hope, you have some sort of dream, you have some sort of way that you think that your problem is going to be solved other than the way that Allah has done it. This is another type of shirk. And Luqman is not doing either one. He's relying completely on Allah. And then he starts giving him his son some advice. First of all, don't do any shirk with Allah. That shirk is obviously a great and wrong thing. But it's very interesting. Immediately after coming from that, then Luqman starts giving his son advice towards goodness of his parents. Meaning Allah thought that this saying was so wise that he put it immediately after shirk. The next thing is the appreciation of the blessing that Allah has given us through our parents. That the first blessing that we get, the first instinct, the first the first blessing that Allah has given us is that He's given us parents. And immediately he turns this, Luqman, even though obviously this is his son, and he should be turning it, if he was a greedy person or something, he would be turning it to himself. He turned him towards, and he had his son to pay attention towards his thankfulness to his mother. So meaning like after his wise things, he's saying, I'm going to give you a quick bit of advice. So at any point I die, then this is what you need to hear. The first thing is to be thankful to Allah and don't associate anything with Him. And then immediately after, to appreciate your parents and to be good to your mother before anything else. He hasn't even given him his ibadat and his akhlaq and his ahkam and his all of these other things. Immediately he went towards that just to put you, because before you get to your fasting and before you get to your praying, and first you have to be a human being. The first part of a human being is that a human being is appreciative and thankful to his blessings before he gets to his son. Before he doesn't do his wudu in the correct way. He's thankful, he's appreciative of his creator. Then he's thankful and appreciative of the blessings that his creator gave him with his parents, particularly that the struggle and the hardship that his mother went through for him. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brothers and sisters in Iman, today we are here on the exact day of martyrdom of our first Imam, Imam Ali, peace be upon him. I would like to share with you some of his wills. When he got wounded, he delivered will for his sons and his generation, and of course for all of us. Usikuma bitaqwallahi wa nazmi amrikum. He says, you fear from Allah and organize your life. His advice to Hassan and Hussein, Kuna lil zalimi khasman wa lil mazlumi awna. Always be against oppressor and be in the favor of oppressed one. La tabghat dunya wa in baghatkuma. The word, dirty word, will like to get close to you, but you do not get close to this dirty word. امروز के बाद खिदमत शुमा हस्तीन امروز روز शहादत मौलाए मुत्तकियानस व मन दर قم वक्त طلب بودم دو روز تنور ها روشن نمی شد. یکی روز 21 که امروز باشد، یکی هم روز عاشورا. امروز مولای ما از ما فراق گرفت و از دنیا رفت. ما از سیرت مولای متقیان آنچه که میتونیم در سن حاصل کنیم این است که ایشون تمام عمرش برای خدا بود. هر چه میکرد برای خدا میکرد. ایشون متولد شد در کعبه و به شهادت رسید در مسجد. امام علی کسی بود که برای عادل قدری اینوستمنت کرد که یکی از کسانی که مسیحی است و یک تیسیس نوشته در لبنان میگه قتل علیون لشدت عدله. علی کشته شد چون در عدل خیلی جلو بود. مولا علی هم متواضع بود، هم در خوراک و خورد و نوشش ساده بود مردم را خدا یاد می آورد، همیشه قرآن می خوند، همیشه درس قرآن به مردم می گفت، همیشه عدل را پیاده می کرد، سنت پیغمبر را پیاده می کرد و به مظلومان می رسید، به داد مظلومان می رسید و بر علیه ظالمان یک شمشیر برهنه بود. ایشون در صحنه مکه و مدینه چه جلوی مشرکین باشد، چه در سفر باشه، چه حضر، چه در جنگ بدر باشه یا جنگ احد، خندق باشه یا حنین باشه و خیبر، ایشون یک کسی بود که همیشه معاون پیغمبر بود. ما میتونیم از زندگی نامه حضرت علی درس تقوا و زهد را بگیریم. انشاءالله خدا همه ما و شما را موفق بدهد.
محمد آل محمد. Inshallah, Sheikh Farouk and his speech, inshallah, with the salawat of Muhammad, Al Muhammad, we will come.
In this, we're talking today about trying to learn more about the personality of our Imam, the first Imam, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And in his last letter, which he made for his sons, and he also said that this is a letter and my wasiyah for any person who it reaches. So this is not just something special for his son, but this is for his sons first and foremost, but his advice to all of the rest of the people of the earth, because he was the imam of all of the people on the earth. And part of this advice that he gave, he said a very interesting sentence. He said, لا تترك الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر. Do not abandon ordering for the good and forbidding the evil. Because this is a short, it's not a long speech, it's just a few lines. So when he's giving us his most important thing, like, just take this and you should be good. You're going to condense Islam into a few sentences and a few words. One of his sentences was this: do not abandon Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. And then he also, we have in Quran, we have so many times, we have different ayahs which is talking about this Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Well, تكون منكم أمة تدعون إلى الخير يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر أولئك هم المفلحون. We have this ayah many times in different forms. And there should be from you a group which is calling towards good and ordering for righteousness and forbidding the evil actions, and these people shall surely be successful. It has a lot of this. But this is one of the places where the Imam gives the ilah, the explanation of why. why do we have this idea of Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar? He says, he said, don't give it up. فَيُوَلَّى عَلَيْكُمْ شِرَارُكُمْ ثُمَّ تَدْعُونَ فَلَا يُسْتَجَابُ لَكُمْ. That if you give it up, then you're going to call out, that then Allah is going to put the worst of you on top of you, and you're going to make prayers, you need to get rid of this tawhut, and Allah's not going to answer it. So now what we're going to do today is we're going to try to, because the Imams, they have these hadiths, and of course we know that they're correct. If the Imam said it, if the Imam said something in a hadith, we know that it's correct. But it's still important for us to now try to unpack it a little bit, because it sinks into our heart better when we understand it. If you just say it, then you say, okay. But it's very important for us to now get it. That we have the verses of the Quran, but Allah says, think about the verses of Quran. Not just recite it. Because what's the problem with these Khawarij and these extremists? They read the Quran better than us. All of them are Hafiz of the Quran from beginning to end. They come, they sit down, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, blow through it all the way till they get to, Nas, without stopping. But they don't spend any time thinking about, what does this verse actually mean? How do I apply it in my life? They protect the Quran, but the Quran doesn't protect them. So that's why when you have even a short hadith, think about why the Imam said it. Why did he talk about something else? And then try to break it out to yourself, and so then it'll sink into your heart. Because when you understand it, it sinks in. When you don't really understand it, oh yeah, just do good things, don't do bad things, alhamdulillah, and you go on about your business. Yes, we believe in Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar, and we just go on about our business. Maybe we do it, maybe we don't do it. When you let it sink in a little bit, especially with this tahdid, this little warning that the Imam is putting, he didn't just say it. He could have just said, do good, do Amr bil Ma'ruf. In other places, that's what he said, do Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. But this time he puts that little warning on it to warn people, rather than just talk about the reward of doing it, that you're the Khalifa of Allah in the earth and things. Some of the hadith are like that whoever does Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar, he's the Khalifa of Allah in the earth, and different things. But this time he puts the warning in. So now, we want to look at, how is this important for us? Because remember, he gave this advice to benefit us, not just to have it and put it up on the shelf somewhere. To put as part of our life. One of the things is, I've noticed somehow there has come across people this idea that the true mu'min, if you really want to be a good mu'min, you really want to be a good Muslim, you should just let everybody do whatever they want. This is one of the slogans they have. I don't judge anybody. People are very proud of themselves for this. I never correct anybody. They're proud of themselves. But we see that the Imam is telling us to do something different than that. The first thing that we say is, we always look at, unfortunately, we look at the Nahy anil Munkar part, and we don't look at the Amr bil Ma'ruf part. So let's do the easy part first, right? Do the easy part first. Which part is easier? To encourage somebody who's doing something good, or to stop somebody who is doing something bad? It's easier to see somebody's doing something good, he's sweeping up the masjid, you go and you give him a pat on the back and you go about your way. That's the easy part. Sometimes we forget that. This is wajib. It's not just nice to do. It's a command of Allah. You know another place we forget it? We forget it in our own household. When we do this Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar, usually the person we don't do it with is with our husband or our wife. If they yaqum bi something wajib, they go and they do something which is mandatory. Your wife does her duty to you, or your husband does his duty to you. We don't congratulate them on that. Just as they say, the water off a duck's back. Everybody does it. No, the person did something good. It's your job to show some appreciation for that. It's your job to not just, okay, she went out of her way, she made a beautiful meal, she tried and, sweated and stuff in the kitchen, she brought the food, just eat it. I didn't do any sin, I didn't say anything bad about it, I just ate it. What's wrong with that? I said thank you and I ate it. No, it's part of appreciation for that good deed that she did, and encouraging her to do it again is watching. Encouraging your kids to pray. Congratulating when they do right. Encouraging them when they tell the truth. I've seen people, they discourage their kids when they tell the truth. Somebody comes to the house, we know the story. Someone comes to the house and you say, tell the child that daddy's not home. We tell the kid to do. So we've just ordered them to do something wrong. And the kid sometimes fumbles it and says, daddy says that daddy's not home. Daddy said to tell you daddy's not home. Then we get angry. No, we need to encourage our kids towards truth and righteousness and raise them up before we get to the rest of the society. Then with our friends and our family and everybody. Sometimes I've seen people. The person is making salat, they discourage. You don't need to be that multazim bideen. You can go and you make salat late. Why do it on time? Meaning we're pushing the person back when the person is doing righteous action. We need to realize that this is haram. Discouraging people from righteousness. Not only are we not supposed to discourage them, we're supposed to encourage them. The best type of encouragement, they say, is what is it? Right? How does the Amar bil Ma'ruf and Nahi al Munkar go? It starts with your where? The hands or the feet? It starts actually in your heart. Meaning the first place where the mu'min is supposed to feel some sort of changes in his heart. Meaning that you should be happy when you see the righteous action taking place. Or you become angry when you see the wrong action taking place. This is a mandatory thing. If you realize that, I just saw somebody do something wajib, I just saw somebody do something haram, I just saw somebody do something mustahab and I didn't care or I was unhappy about it. You should be worried about yourself. You should be very worried if I'm seeing righteousness take place and it is upsetting to me. If I'm seeing wrong take place and I'm happy about it. If I want to be around people because they allow a broom and you sweep with them, right? That would be with the hand. We always think about the Nahi al Munkar part, not enough about the Amar bil Ma'ruf part. Taking part in this righteousness that you see, don't just be a spectator. It's good that you are, but if you have the ability to take part in it, then take part in it. Don't let the good deeds pass you by. Don't let that, alhamdulillah, you'll still go, Allah will give you your reward. But isn't it that you're supposed to do it with the one that's most powerful? Meaning I have the ability to help out in this good action. I have the time, I have the experience, I have this. Some sort of good action is going on, and I have the ability to take part. Isn't it my duty to take part, not just encourage? It's your duty to take part if you can. If you can speak out, you should. And then if finally the only thing you can do is you love it in your heart, which is the starting place, then you do that. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now we have the opposite. One of the things that people don't do it is because they fear somehow that there's going to be some sort of loss or something like that. They have a hadith from the Prophet that the afdal al-a'mal, I believe he says, kalimatul haq inda sultanin ja'ir. The best of action is to speak the truth in front of the oppressor. The best of action. Meaning that when you see something going wrong, that you don't just sit there and let it happen. You say something about it. Within the slogan, see something, say something. No. Meaning that you do not let oppression go on in front of you. And again, we need to think about this. We always like to think about it from the big to the small. The small, we think it's small. I want to go out and I want to do the Amr bil Ma'ruf first, against XYZ tyrant. Why don't we start with the easy one? One is the tyrant of ourselves. Stop yourself. That's the best way. Then, not allowing oppression within your own house, within your children, allowing them to oppress one another, or allowing, let's say, sometimes people, they're having a fight with their spouse, they allow one of their children to oppress their spouse and take their rights because they're angry at the spouse. When we have the example of Amir al-Mu'mineen, that's not allowable. No, adl is adl. Injustice is injustice, even if it's beneficial to you. Even if you're getting happy at this injustice, you should not allow it to go on. Then you work your way out towards the oppression that you see in the world. Stop it. Don't let it go past. And I'll give you some examples. One of the effects of it is that even if you don't stop the oppressor, he doesn't increase his oppression sometimes because you said something. Many times when you say something, then others will speak up too, and they'll give pushback to it. Sometimes they say, well, why do we do this Yom Kippur every year? Nothing's really happening. But who knows what they would have taken had we not done it? They would take this country, they would take that country, they would keep adding to it. When you see the maps that they have of Israel, it goes from here to there. It's not just a little piece that they have now. Maybe the only reason they haven't done more zulm and more oppression is because we're speaking out on it. When you're talking about big things. It pushes the believers to be more righteous. Because the believers see that they're reward this. People care. So they're like, nobody's caring. I'm over here doing all this work in the masjid, or I'm doing all this work in my house, I'm doing all this work for this person. No one cares. It's important for them to encourage them and encourage them forward. Keep them going. I'll tell you kind of a story which is a little bit of a joke in a way. They said that there was, if you give me permission. Tell it? Salli ala Muhammad. One brother says I should tell it. I don't know about the rest of the world. I guess their silence is their consent. They said that there was some frogs or something. And the frogs fell into a hole. And they started trying to jump out of the hole. There's water at the bottom that if they went backwards, they would drown. But if they went forwards, they would succeed. So a couple of frogs fell in, and some of the frogs didn't fall in. So now the frogs started trying to jump to get out of this hole. And the frog who was outside, he was kind of negative. So he saw the frogs jumping. He said, you know what, you can't make it. And so the frog jumped and jumped and jumped, and he kept saying, just stop. Don't bother making yourself tired. Just die in peace. So the frog gave up, one of the frogs. The other frog kept jumping, and he kept discouraging him, the one who was outside. And he kept jumping, and finally he jumped out. Then the frog said, you know what? I'm deaf, but I realized from your words that you were encouraging me, so I kept jumping, and thanks to you, I made it. I didn't think I would be able to make it. Kind of a joke. But the concept is true. Meaning sometimes when they have these sports teams and stuff, why do they have the fans? Why do the fans even come? What are they doing? No, that encouragement gives them more energy. They feel like, oh, we're going to lose. It's not going to win. They say, wait a minute. Our fans believe in us, and so they continue on. This is an important step for us to keep the believers keep going. Sometimes we see them and they're doing righteous deeds. It just seems automatic to us. No, give them encouragement. If someone's doing something, make him think that, or him, her, whoever, make them realize that you appreciated that good deed that they're doing. Another thing that this does is it pushes you to be on the right side of history. You, the mu'min. Because sometimes you can be kind of in between, hedging your bets. But once you speak out for justice, it pushes you to become one of the people of justice. We had the example of this, some of these countries, which were not really friends with Iran, like Venezuela, kind of with a waffle, they kind of like them a little bit. They spoke out on a couple of issues. They spoke out on the issue of maybe mildly on Palestine. And then they got condemned, So then they didn't back down, so it forced them to be more on the side of justice than they would have been had they not spoken up. So this is one of the effects that this Amr bil Ma'ruf has, is it pushes us towards justice. It pushes us towards a better position. It makes us better. It gets rid of nifaq because we burn down the door to nifaq. Because maybe before we said something to the Sultan Jayed, that door was open to us. Maybe we could have had a job or this, that, and the other. But once we burn that down, we also burn down the door to nifaq. We burn down the door to these sins that would have gotten us into. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. They said that one of the prophets, he had a town, let's say 100,000 people. And Allah said that out of these 100,000, 30,000 of them are wrongdoers. I'm going to destroy all of them. And the Prophet said, well, 30,000 of them were wrongdoers. Why are you going to destroy the other 70,000 who weren't wrongdoers? He said they didn't become angry at my anger. If we think about it, first we're like, oh, that's not right. But think about it. How many people killed the camel of Saleh? He said one guy. And maybe he had a little team of 5 people. And who was he ordered by? They didn't take a vote. Maybe some of the leaders, the chiefs of the tribe ordered him to do it. And he said, I want the reward and I'm going to go and kill the camel of Saleh. Right? So one guy did the murder and Allah destroyed the whole entire qawm. Because they were not unhappy with it. They agreed with it. They liked it. They wanted it to happen. Don't when we read Ziyarah, that it starts giving la'nat to the people who helped for the murder of who did the murder of Imam Hussein, who helped for the murder of Imam Hussein, and the people, Samiyat lidhalika faradiyat bi. Meaning they heard what happened to Imam Hussein and they were happy with it. They got la'nat as well. Meaning Allah is going to destroy all of those people. And at the same time, the reverse. Our relationship to it, we weren't there at the battle. We didn't fight the war. But when we heard about the battle, then we were unhappy with what happened there. And that makes us love the people of Imam Hussein. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. When we read about this death of Amir al-Mu'mineen, one of the things also we forget that this was a huge blow for the weak and the orphans. That part of his hadith, the same hadith which we just quoted about Amr bil Ma'ruf, before he gets to that, he says an interesting line. He says, Allah fil aitam. Beware of Allah with the orphans and the weak. They should not be hungry or mistreated while you're present. When these people, they said that when Amir al-Mu'mineen was struck, Amir al-Mu'mineen, the patient person, and he lingered on for a few days, the people who were most upset were the widows and the weak and the travelers and the orphans. When they heard of what had happened to Amir al-Mu'mineen, they started crying and sobbing great cries. The weak, the children, the Christians, the Jews, they started saying, Wa wayla, we're destroyed. We've lost our protector. We've lost our helper. We've lost our master. There's no one who can help us now that Amir al-Mu'mineen is gone. There was weak amongst the widows and the orphans who they didn't realize. They said, I used to have somebody who used to come and he used to take care of my children. He used to give me food. He used to help me. And what has happened to this person? Didn't realize that this was Amir al-Mu'mineen who was killed. Those who didn't have a tribe, the people who had converted to Islam, these were the ones who were most harmed with the death of Amir al-Mu'mineen. The believers who were lovers of Amir al-Mu'mineen, they said that we have lost the gates of knowledge. We have lost the possessor of the secret of the Rasulullah. Then Amir al-Mu'mineen, he gathered his own people. He gathered his widows and his orphans, his children. And he started trying to encourage them and give them his last bits of advice. Once Amir al-Mu'mineen they realized that he was passing away. Then Zainab and all of the people around Amir al-Mu'mineen, they started crying and sobbing and weeping. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen, he was encouraging all of them until he got to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When Amir al-Mu'mineen looked at Imam Hussein, then Amir al-Mu'mineen, he started crying. And they said, Amir al-Mu'mineen, why are you crying? He said, I'm crying because now when I'm passing away, I'm here, I'm surrounded by my wives and my children. They're over there, they're helping me, they're being taken care of. But what about you, oh my Hussein? When you die, when you pass away, there's no one going to be there with you, no one to say your prayers, no one to wash your body. My orphans are now protected. They have Imam Hussein, they have Imam Hassan, they have Abul Fazl Abbas. But when you die, your orphans are going to be alone. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منهم صلى على محمد وعلى محمد.
سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله